Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father. As always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews, and today it is an honor and privilege to have the lead vocalist and guitarist of Outlaws Moonshine, Mr. Beau on the show. We're going to be talking to him about their new album, Devil in the Moonshine, out on Nemesis Records, Vanity Music Group. And I tell you what, it's out now. You want to pick this album up and check it out. And like I told Beau just before we started, great to have some Southern freaking metal coming out in the way, so we need it badly. So how's it going, man?
It's going great, bub. It's going really good, and I'm glad you like it. There's plenty more where that came from, and we're glad to do it. We really are. So this is playing this style of music comes easy for us. It's just kind of what we've been doing for a minute, and we can definitely appreciate you and your audience here listening to us.
So I just want to throw this in before I forget, because I have a bad habit of that. You talked about just a little bit ago, before we come on the air here, that you had some more stuff possibly going to be that you want to get out on an album. Let's talk about that a little bit. How much did it make this album that you wanted to put on it?
Well, how we wanted to do with this, we were probably looking at a list of when we initially recorded the 5-song EP that we done. We wanted to do probably somewhere between 17. We were picking between 17 and 23 songs to go, and we were just kind of going through. But I'll be honest with you, there's different timings that have to be involved in it, because we're from the southern part of Indiana here, and we had to get time with Vic Rivera at Red 5 Studios in New York City, and his scheduling was going to be how we could work with him and get into the studio. And he's a pretty popular guy there, as you can imagine, and getting the time with him was what was going to be important for us. And we just, to be honest with you, the money and the time frame with Vic is what kept us from putting as many songs on as we wanted to.
What's impressed you or excited you the most about Devil in the Moonshine making this album? What's caught your eye about, if anything, Beau?
It really just kind of personifies the band as who is what we do, who we are. Like me and my brother Chris, he's the bassist for the band. It's just kind of, it goes into the whole story when we talk about our dad and a little bit of our family history in there a little bit. And it really just is a song about who we are. And it just, I think people Midwestern, we call them flyover country here. A lot of us grew up that way. And that's what we're singing about, man. We're singing about who we are, and we're real proud of being where we're from. We're not from the East Coast. We're not from the West Coast. We're right here. We're not from down south in Georgia or Tennessee, but we're right here in good old middle America, and we like that. We're proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't stand behind your own music, how can your fans relate and stand behind it?
Exactly. And, and I think that that's where we're connecting at. I really do. I believe that. And we can see it at every single show that we play. And it's funny because, we started doing this, it was just like, playing on a Monday or Tuesday night at a bike night or something, for $25 and some free beers, but now it just seems like the crowds are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, the barricades are coming up. So it's kind of cool because we see everything escalating to a point, and that's our goal, is to take this and push it as far as we can.
Now, I know these are like your babies, like your best collectible stuff, but are there any songs off this new album that kind of stand out more to you than any on it, possibly, at all, maybe?
Song for me, it's kind of strange, as a songwriter, man, you get a lot of different things, and some of the stuff comes out real easy and comes out real fast, and then some of the stuff is very personal. And I would probably have to say Bobby, as far on a personal level, is probably one of my favorites on the record. Yeah.
Now, how special is it playing alongside of your brother Chris in this band? Let's talk about that a little bit. I know you want to strangle each other probably sometimes.
You know what? Honestly, I mean, man, since we were kids, I mean, probably when we were very young, I mean, we would kind of go back and forth. But since then, I mean, he played in his bands and I played in my bands, and sometimes our bands would do shows together. And it wasn't until sometime around 2014, 2013, so he said, "Hey, let's take some of these songs you got and let's really apply ourselves and really do this." And it was the first time we'd ever been in a band together, was Outlaws Moonshine. And I'll tell you, it's really easy because we're different. We're two totally different people. He's very business minded, and I'm very, I like to write music, but we both at the end of the day like to drink beer. So we come together pretty well. And he's honest to God, he's one of my best friends. So.
How much growth musically have you seen this band and yourself go through from the debut EP from 2015 up till now? Can you see a difference in the growth in this band?
I do, and I think it's because of, I mentioned earlier, Vic Rivera. The way that Vic works, he's a very, very honest guy. He tells you what he thinks, and he's not going to sugarcoat anything for you. And I think that, when you get into some of these studios, a lot of these guys, it's these producers and stuff, it's just a paycheck for them, and they just want to get the band in and out. But with Vic, it's his name that's going to be on that record, and he'll be damned if he's going to put something out that he's not proud of. And he pushes you and works you and works you and works you. So yeah, I believe that there's an obvious growth in there, and it's because of Sergeant Vic Rivera.
Now, is that the first time working with Vic? Am I right on there, or am I wrong? Or did you work with him before?
No, we worked with Vic in 1919,
That's
and then when it came time for us to go back into the studio to do this again, there was no other person we were going to work with other than Vic. It was going to be Vic regardless. And Vic wanted to hear, actually we started shooting him, I call them like idiot tracks,
right.
Just where stuff that you record like in your bathroom or stuff, and I started sending him stuff, and we kind of went through the songs. But the thing with 1919, the 5-song EP, we didn't feel like that those songs got the push that they deserved. And you have to understand that the Devil in the Moonshine as a whole, it was never intended to be like a concept album or anything like that. But all the songs really do go together. And we wanted to do a full length on 1919, but like I said, that was out of our control. We were told that it was going to be a 5-song EP. So when we got a chance to put the Devil in the Moonshine together, we had the new material, but we just felt like we owed it to the 5 songs that was on the EP to put them on the full length.
And plus, it's very awesome to go back and work with a familiar face that knows your band, knows how to push you and what makes you tick to get that extra, couple minutes out of a song for you guys.
And you're right. And we were really, really skeptical initially on the EP because we didn't, we were thinking, man, we've never been to New York City. We've never done anything like this. And how is this guy from New York City going to relate to what we're doing? And within the first 5 minutes, that was all down the drain. It was just, Vic's, the way he carries himself, the way he talks to you, the way he, conducts himself as a professional is just beyond anything I've ever worked with before.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Now, your guys' recording process and the writing, do you guys do anything differently to help keep your minds open and fresh to not get off track and not let the music get stale?
My thing is that I love to, as far as the writing goes, I like to ride. I'm a Harley guy. I like to ride my bike, and I'll take off on my bike and it just kind of comes into my head, things just kind of pop in there. And it's sometimes things that I've been thinking about, and sometimes I stress on stuff, over stuff, and it turns into a song. I guess musically, songwriting has always been a way that I've been able to kind of sort of vent. And I was doing it since I was a very young kid. So for me, it's just like a secondhand thing. It's just something that I do naturally.
You guys independently released your debut EP 1919 in 2015. So how crucial was this release for Outlaws of Moonshine and people taking a notice and having an interest in your guys' music, man?
I think that it was a pretty good idea looking back on it. It definitely didn't get out there to enough people, but as far as being able to put our name and out there in the ring, so to speak, as far as being around, getting able to do some of the shows that we had, it did benefit us a little bit, but it took a lot of work, for us. Because, we didn't know anybody going into any of this, and it just kind of, the EP came out, and it just kind of took us to that point where it said, okay, you're here, now you got to stand on your own. And that's what we did. And, we've played shows with Colt Ford. We've played shows with David Allan Coe. We've played shows with, numerous people, Saving Abel, you name it. We've been there. Jackal, Waylon.
Yeah, Jackal. Waylon's a good band.
So we've had a lot of fun, man, and it's been a really good time. But with the new release that we've got now, we're wanting to branch that out. We're wanting to take that even further.
What do you hope the fans take away from the new album once they start to listen to it, or just Outlaws and Moonshine's music in general, man?
The thing I wanted to do, if anything, is just to realize that this is something organic. I realized that, my brother and I and the guys, Mike and on guitar, and then Eric and Travis, we all realized that there's kind of sort of a thing, kind of a trend now where we're starting to see a lot of these bands that are kind of swinging, and they figured out that this, the Southern thing ain't so bad of a place to be, and the country rock type of thing isn't so bad. And I want them to know that we're true about this. We're organic. We started out as this. We didn't fall into this. We didn't say, hey, this is the new trend, let's jump on that bandwagon. We were right there at the spear, at the tip of it. So, if they take anything away, I think I want them to listen to what we're doing musically and understand that it comes from our heart and it comes from where we are.
Do you guys have a hard time getting shows out and around? Because like I said, I'm in Kentucky and you guys are from Southern Indiana. Does it frustrate you that you have to go way out just to get shows? Do you guys have that problem there also?
Well, yeah, it's funny because a lot of the people, and that kind of goes back to what I was just talking about just a second ago, as far as who we are and where we're from, and now we notice that a lot of these people, because there were bands that didn't want to play shows with us because they thought we were too redneck rock or too, Southern or too country or, and it as a whole, like our whole show, I think that people get that feeling that, they're not real sure, how they're going to take what we're doing. And then by the time that we get into the third or fourth song, we've already won them over. We've already done our job, and that's the cool part. But as far as doing shows around that, we don't mind branching out. We like doing shows that are, because if you can go into a venue and you can play that venue that you've never stepped foot on in a day in your life, and you win over 400, 500, 600, 2,000 people, then you're doing it right. You're doing something right. And that's kind of our mentality is we like doing that. We don't get threatened by that kind of stuff. We really, really enjoy going out, meeting new people and playing shows.
What can fans expect at a show from Outlaws of Moonshine that's not got to see you guys live yet?
We're gonna open up with our guns blazing, and we're gonna keep it like that until we get done. And we are right there with the people out there in the stands. We're right there with them. We are the same people. We just happen to be playing music doing it, and we're the same people. We've played with a lot of bands that don't take the time of day to get out there and see their fans and work with their people that are in the audience. And the way we see it is, man, these people are paying money to come and see you. So we take the time to get out and meet our people and get them to come back and see us again. That's what it's all about. It's about having a big old good time. That's it.
Yeah, or charge your fans $150 to $200 to come and meet you after the show. Fuck that.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not big on any of that. That's their thing. That's not my thing. You know, I'm perfectly comfortable being who I am, and I got to be honest with you, I'd feel very, very awkward if I was meeting somebody that paid to see me. That would not make me feel like who I am. So
very true, very true.
And plus, my dad probably kicked my butt.
We're living in a digital era right now of recording albums. Plus, we got social media now. Do you like this that we're in to help get albums out quicker and plus get you guys out there more to a bigger audience, especially as big as social media is, to get Outlaws of Moonshine out there more?
You know, the only thing I can compare this to is the early days, you know, back before our times a little bit, back before the whole 70s and all that stuff. And back in the old days, man, them bands like Kiss and like Van Halen, and even, you know, you get into like Leonard Skinner and Molly Hatchet and those guys. Them guys are putting out an album every year. Some of them, Kiss was putting out albums every 6 months almost.
Wow.
There for a while. And, you know, I think, honestly, that to make it in this business now and to be out there and to be productive, you got to keep continuously releasing new music, because we live in a time, like you said, it's almost of, you know, hey, that's a great song, but you released that 3 months ago. You know, what else do you got? Because you know, it's right. You're right, because people want that music now. They want that new stuff now. They don't want to wait for it. And I'm the kind of person who kind of looks at that like, cool. You want to hear some more of my stuff? Okay, I got more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're right, man. That's like a lot of bands, they just do straight EPs and that's it. They don't wait to put out a full-length record. And I think fans are cheating themselves. Just give us some time, folks. Wait for that big album to come out. That's me. That's what I like. EPs are okay.
Well, EPs, I don't understand the full concept behind it, and I was never big on the idea of it. And actually, if I would have had it my way, there probably would have been anywhere between 13 and 17 songs on The Devil in the Moonshine. There's plenty of stuff, and the thing about it is that it was never like, choosing the songs isn't like you go, oh, these are the songs that's going to get us on the radio. These are the songs that are going to make us a hit. It's not like that. You have to go through and you have to judge each song about the character of the song, and then you don't want to put, you know, 5 songs on there that sound like a different kind of man, Redneck Me. You know, we've got a whole lot of songs that we do, and to be honest with you, there's probably 7 songs in our set that aren't on the EP, that aren't on the album, and it's not because they're not good enough. It's just we just didn't have the time to do it. So we're, like I said, you know, matter of fact, we just got done. There's a song that we're using as our opener now, after we took off and pushed Whiskey as off of our 19, and we had to push Whiskey back from being, because Whiskey was originally our opener, and then it got to where the crowd at the shows really wanted to hear Whiskey, so we ended up pushing Whiskey back to being our closing song. So I was like, well, crap, I mean, we're going to have another opening song now. so you know, we got another opening song, and now it's a really good song, and I'm really excited to get back into the studio and get that put down, because like I said, I think there's a lot more coming down the way for Outlaws of Moonshine in the future. So we're excited. We're pumped.
Have you noticed lately or anything if there's a country or a location that stands out more or surprises you that you guys get support from that area?
The UK.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
The UK. Like, you would not believe all the emails that we're getting from people over there. It's crazy. But you know, we're excited about stuff like that. And I would love to get over there and play some shows. Just one, it's a completely different culture than what we got over here, but it's a new continent to try to conquer.
Oh yeah, and I'm telling you what, dude, you guys only have to sing, strike the chord, and let the fans take away. I'm telling you.
You know, and that's honestly, that what you just said right there is what happens. That's exactly what it's like, because, you know, when your lights go down and they introduce the band up on stage, and I get to hit that big old D chord or whatever, and every single hair on the back of my neck just stands up once that crowd gets going. And once once they start screaming and they see me and I see them, like it's on. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like riding on a roller coaster. It goes up and down and as fast as it can. And that's from beginning to the end. And if you look at every one of us when we get off stage, we're all just dripping wet with sweat. Like that's what it's all about, getting up there and putting on a show.
I don't know if my nerves could handle that, man. Everybody's singing along. I don't know if I could, stay in the moment. You know what I mean? I don't know if I could really handle that.
Well, it's, it takes a little bit of whiskey. It takes a little bit of whiskey. And once you get up there with that whiskey and you see that they're drinking whiskey, and then, of course you got people that are, wanting to give you their shot and their beer. And I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's really fun. And it's cool that they're welcoming you into their personal lives like that,
Very true. What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, that's what I want to do?
I didn't know. It just kind of, like I said, I was writing songs before I realized that I was writing songs. I was doing stuff. And then when it was actually one of my cousins had a guitar, and he was playing on it a little bit, and I thought, well, that's really, really cool. And then he turned that thing up and started playing along with the old Molly Hatchet stuff with Dreams, and I just thought that was just the coolest thing ever. And I knew right from there this is what I want to do.
If you had the opportunity to work with any musician that's alive or passed away, or any band that you would like to work with for a couple days, who would you choose? Would it be anybody, possibly?
Gary Rossington would probably be the one that I'd want to jam with.
Oh, some Skynyrd.
Yeah, it'd be Gary Rossington, without a doubt.
That's the first time I've heard
that. Looking on all the stuff that he did, he was if you go back and you look at some of the live stuff that he did, he just emotionally he captures everything that he's doing at that very moment. But it's so cool watching him because he's very, very meticulous. He goes back, he plays the same stuff, and it's not because it's repetition, it's because that's the way it's supposed to go. And that's the cool part, because he plays it from the heart, and he's playing exactly how that song is supposed to go. And that, to me, is what songwriting is all about. And I think he's a brilliant songwriter. Of course, along with Ronnie and Collins. I mean, they were all a great team. But listening to a guitar player like somebody like Rossington is just, the guy is just a brilliant player.
But here's the $1 million question, though, Beau. How many fans would have caught that, like you just said, he plays the same stuff? How many would have caught that, seriously?
Yeah, well, you're right, and that's the sad part about it. And if you... Like I said, if you just go back and you watch some of their stuff that they were doing together at some of their shows, he was captivated by what the band was doing musically. That it was just, to me, that's just what it's all about. That just speaks volumes, and that's why he would be hands down the person that I'd want to get together with. Yeah,
folks, Outlaws and Moonshine's new album is out right now. Out on Nemesis Records, Vanity Music Group. Pick this album up. I guarantee, and I said damn in that guarantee, that you guys will not be disappointed in this album. Beau, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, some shirts, whatever that you guys have for sale? Tour dates, how can they do that, my friend?
We are on Instagram, Outlaws and Moonshine. We're also on Facebook, Outlaws and Moonshine. And we are currently redoing our website because it had to be redone. But you can reach us all on Facebook and on Instagram, on social media. We're right there with them.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Sure, absolutely. This is Beau Van, guitarist and vocalist of Outlaws and Moonshine, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. Thank you so much, Beau.
Oh, no, thank you.